Think about any group of people. Could be a family, a sports team, maybe even, well, in an entire nation. There's always this incredibly dynamic thing going on, right? It's about managing all these different needs, sometimes conflicting desires, and that constant uh, push and pull between individual choices and the rules for the whole group.
It's complex, definitely, and really
And
fascinating.
you just can't avoid it because, well, we all live together. We'll be exploring politics, states, and those enduring institutions that govern our lives.
It's really about understanding the kind of invisible blueprints, how human communities organize themselves, why they work the way they do, from like tiny local interactions all the way up to global stuff.
Okay, so let's kick off with politics itself. We all use the word, but
Yeah.
what is it at its core, academically speaking?
Well, fundamentally, it's about how groups manage their clashes, their conflicting interests.
Yeah.
It's a constant struggle, really, for influence.
A struggle that lets one person, or maybe a few people, make decisions for everyone else, whether it's a tiny club or a whole country.
Precisely. It's about whose ideas, whose will gets to shape the collective path.
And how complicated that gets. Depends on a few things, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Things like, well, how big is the group? How modern is it? How much do people actually know? What resources do they have, natural or otherwise?
And crucially, is there some kind of higher authority? And how much power does it really have?
Exactly. All those variables mix together to create the political landscape for any given community.
But at the heart of it all, there's always this tension. Our sources call it the eternal battle.
Ah, yes, freedom versus authority.
Right. On one side, you've got freedom, just your ability as an individual to act on your own, make choices based on your free will without someone stopping you or punishing you. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? The ideal.
It does sound ideal, but think about it. What happens if everyone acts with total, unchecked freedom?
Chaos.
Pretty much. It moves from ideal to chaotic very quickly. And that's where authority steps in. Authority is that power, or maybe the right, often from an office or rank, to give commands and enforce rules.
So it sets the boundary.
Exactly. It's supposed to set the boundary so freedom can actually work, safely and productively within some kind of structure.
Right. So it's not really about choosing one or the other. It's about finding that balance.
That's the key, finding the balance.
More personal freedom usually means, well, a smaller role for authority, maybe more limits on its power. That is politics. That's the core of it.
Absolutely. And this tension, it's not just abstract philosophy, right?
No, not at all.
It's the engine driving political chat and decisions everywhere, all the time. From, I don't know, ancient tribes figuring out hunting rules.
To modern countries debating things like online privacy laws today, it's the same fundamental challenge.
What's fascinating here is just how constant that challenge is. Every organized community faces it.
Okay, so if this delicate balance between freedom and authority is always in play, how do societies manage it? Like over the long term?
Well, that's where institutions come in.
Right. Institutions.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about like big, impressive buildings with pillars, are we?
No, not necessarily. Institutions are more like these deeply embedded norms, values, established ways of doing things. They're so ingrained in how people live that you can't just easily change them or get rid of them.
Or like the invisible architecture holding society up.
That's a great way to put it. Institutions are basically, the rules could be formal laws, could be informal customs that give meaning to what we do. They shape how we see the world, what we think is important, how we expect things to run.
And because they become so central, they gain this really powerful thing, legitimacy.
Exactly. Legitimacy, that widespread feeling, that popular acceptance that these institutions have the right to govern and conduct politics.
You can really see their power. Think about the basics, the fundamental political structures we all recognize.
Like the military.
Yeah, the military, the police, the legislature, the courts. These aren't just organizations, they're really robust institutions.
And you see it when they're threatened, right? People often rally to defend them.
Totally. And if they somehow get destroyed, societies often work incredibly hard to rebuild them.
That persistence really shows how fundamental, how powerful they are.
So this raises a big question then. How do these deep-rooted things actually influence politics?
Well, they're critical because they don't just sit there. They actively favor certain kinds of political action and discourage others. The way our political institutions are set up has a massive effect on how politics actually happens.
So they don't just reflect politics, they shape it.
Absolutely. They have a huge ongoing impact on how politics functions and how power gets used.
Okay, building on that idea of powerful institutions,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the really big one in modern global politics,
Oh.
the state.
The state.
Now, for many of us, maybe especially here in the U.S., the state might make you think of like California or Texas, right? Local government.
It's a common.
But for most people around the world, the state means that centralized national authority, the main institution of power these days.
Precisely. And just for clarity, our sources give a pretty specific definition here.
Okay, what is it?
The state is the organization that holds a monopoly of violence over a specific territory.
Monopoly of violence,
Mhm.
meaning only it has the recognized right to use force within its borders.
Exactly. Think about it. If anyone, any group, could just use force whenever they wanted.
That's anarchy.
Right. That's anarchy, not a state.
And one of the most crucial things that comes out of this is sovereignty.
Sovereignty, yes. Hugely important. It's that dominant, supreme authority the state has within its territory.
It's the state's ability to make decisions, carry out policies completely independently.
Independently, yeah. Free from outside actors trying to interfere, and also free from internal rivals challenging it.
It's the final say, the ultimate authority.
And to actually use that sovereignty, a state has a pretty clear job description.
Okay, like what?
Well, it has to be the main authority over its territory and people. That means setting laws, defining rights, settling disputes, providing security at home, and, well, imposing discipline when needed.
And that takes more than just recognition, right? It needs real power,
Oh, absolutely. Tangible power.
like physical power.
Yes, it needs armed forces, a military, to defend itself against other states,
Because without that, another state could interfere, even invade.
which would completely destroy its sovereignty, and internally, domestically.
It needs a police force
Hmm.
to deal with, organized crime, maybe rebel groups, anyone challenging its rules.
Exactly, rivals that might try to undermine its authority.
Now, what's really key to understand here, our sources say, is that the state itself is a set of institutions.
Right, like ministries, government departments, various offices, the machinery, you could say.
The things society thinks are needed to solve common problems, manage daily life.
And leaders,
Mm.
specific policies. They come and go, sometimes really quickly.
But the state, this whole set of institutions, it's built to last. It's strongly institutionalized.
It's designed for endurance. It tends to stick around even through major crises, upheavals, revolutions sometimes.
It's the stable structure, even when the faces running it are changing all the time.
That's the idea.
It's easy to get tangled to the words sometimes. We often use state, regime, and government, almost like they're the same thing.
Oh yeah, happens all the time in everyday conversation.